welcome back. In this video, we are going to work on the API that we created to fetch a statistics of both income and expenses. So let's check it out one more time inside Postman. Alright, so this is what we did in the previous video about creating this API. So when I make a request, you can see that it has fetched a statistics of both my expenses, giving me the average transaction and total transaction, minimum, maximum, and total record as that. So you want to fetch this one to the front end, right? So this is what we're going to do in this video. So first things first, we need to create an action for that. So let's go to redux, right, and slices, and we can create one more folder and call this one account statistics. Okay, so let's create one file in there and make it account start slices. Okay, slices. The name is up to you. So the same pattern is going to be the same as we did for income and expenses. So to move faster, we're going to copy one of the expenses where we are using to fetch all expenses or income. Yeah, so this one's great. So let's locate the one that's fetch this one. So this one fetch all. So let's copy this. Have you seen how I'm breaking down my actions into pieces, my states, into pieces? So here I need the things for the, so I may need all these ones, the axios to make the request. Okay, so here let's make some couple of changes here. For this one, is no more fetch all expenses. So let's call it fetch account statistics action. Okay, so here gonna be account, the name, and here gonna be fetch. Yes. Okay, definitely you need to log in. You need to be an admin before you can log in. So you pass in the token. So in the token, the backend will check if you're an admin or not. So passing token is okay. And then the API endpoint is get. So but it's not expenses, but rather account API account statistics. Now remember, I have the API in the base URL. So let's replace this. So now it becomes, the API becomes something like this. And you pass in your token, right, and then send the data. So let's work on the slices. So let's go back to the expenses, and we can copy all the slices here, and we delete what we don't want to make our life easier. So let's copy the whole of these ones. All right, and then let's paste it here and call slices. For this one, we only need the fetching. We don't need the create, other stuffs, and whatever. So let's start remove from here. We don't need the create. So up to fetch all. Yes, there we go. And after fetch all, this one, after this, line number 53, let's remove what we don't need because we're not going to update anything from here. So let's remove it, and now we have it. Definitely, the name is not expenses, but rather account. And the name is not fetch all, so multi-select is called fetch account statistics action. Okay, and definitely handle the loading, and here is not expenses late. Let's call this one account details. Okay, the name is up to you. So everything remains the same and you're good to go. So last thing is we need to map our reducer of slices to our store. So the name is, okay, so let's go to the store and then map into that. So first of all, let's copy one of these reducers. I'm importing it. So let's call this one account reducer, and it can be anything. So under slices, and account statistics and accounts like this. So you can just make account, that is it. Yeah, if the name and the value are the same, you can choose to bring the name from, that is year 6. Okay, so now let's check our state, our application, if something's wrong with it. Okay, cannot, oh, it's working. So let's check our store. Let me rearrange my desktop this side. Yes, this side. Okay, so let's check our store that we have a property called account. Cool. So remember that anytime you go to dashboard, it says that you want to protect it because the account I've used to log in is not an admin account. So to move faster, I'm going to change that route to that component so that any login user can access that. So I'll turn it back to admin dashboard. So this one, so let's pass in here protected route so that I can have access to that dashboard. So let me refresh again. There we go. Now I have it. So compared to the final one, I'm an admin, so I see this loading. I'm able to access the dashboard and it's loading. So first of all, let's work on this one first, right? Let's work on the statistics here first. You see we have profit, net profit, and other stuff here. So you can add up everything together. You are owing. So it's like that. So let's call the action here inside the dashboard data. So let's locate the component. So under pages, users, dashboard component. And definitely we need use selector and we need use dispatch. So let's go to profile. Sorry, we haven't worked on the profile yet. So let's copy the use selector from here and paste it into our dashboard data. Paste it here. And now let's record. We also need the loading because when you load on start, you want to display loading, right? So I'll show you the where we can place the details here. So let's bring in loading component. So we have component here. We have loading component. So let's go to account data here and bring in loading component. Let's also bring in the error if there is one, this error display component. So the trick to make sure that I have the auto import. So where is my data? Where is my dashboard data? Yeah. So here error display message. It didn't come the auto import. So let me save again. And then next, let me go to the dashboard and then error display message. Why I don't have the auto import? Okay, let's do it manually. Error display message. Okay, let's do it manually. Don't try to be lazy. So import error display message from, I think I have it. So is the import correct? I'm not sure. Let's try one more time. Component. Oh, sorry. Yes, go to component. Yeah, and then we have the error. Okay, cool. So we have the importation for both button. So next is let's create an instance of our use dispatch. Until this point, I believe you know how to fetch data from our store to our component using use dispatch. So I also need use effect. So in the component mount, so I don't need use state. I'm using redux. So use effects. Then let's call a function an array of dependencies depends on dispatch. All right. So in here, let's call dispatch and then call our function, our action called fetch account statistics action. I have the auto import as that. All right, cool. So inside here is fetch account statistics action and call it. So let's check it out. Let's refresh our application and let's see if it has fetched. Yes, account fetch fulfilled. If you look at the state payload, we have the income and we have the expenses, right? So if you look at the state too, we have account details and then arrays, right? Like that. So we have both the total expenses and total income as that. Okay, so now we're able to fetch the data. The next step is that let's try to display the individual items here inside this value. And for the graph, we will do it later on. So for now, let's work on this one. Okay, so what do I need? Definitely, I need the use selector from my component here. So let me close this one from here. Use selector is here. I want to grab a piece of state from my store. So use selector, this will move faster because we are doing it so many times. So let's check our state. It's account and account details, right? So it's on account. All right, so let me destructure the account. So const account, and here I need loading. Okay, I need loading and I need account details. That's what I use. And I also need up error and I also need server error. Like that. Cool. So if you console log let's console log the account details, you see that we have an array of one of them. So let's go check it out and see object. We have array 2 items 1 expenses, they are all in array. So how can we get, for example, average expenses? So because an array is on the first index, right? So we are going to grab this one, individual items, first of all. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. So first one is going to be let's work on the expenses, right? This one. So on the account dot expenses. So if you do it, let's work on expenses. So dot expenses, expense details. Let me check again. Okay, let me check the start. Expense statistics. Yeah. So expense stats. Okay, so let's console log that and let me show you what I mean. I'm referring to, you see, they're an array. So if you want to grab the individual items, it will be first index 0 and dot average. So it's going to be like this. First index, right? And then you grab the piece of state you want. So if you do like this one, you're going to get an object. Check it out. There you go. So now you can grab the minimum expenses. So dot min expense. Check it out. And there we go too. So you're now going to use that logic to display the item. So if you look at the structure of the HTML, here, total expenses, right? Total expenses. And then inside here, number of transactions, and then we have the H1, total expense. So let's uncomment this one, line number 50, right? Just put them, or let's start from scratch. Okay. Let's start from scratch. So let me come and show you what I mean. Just place them in H1, right? And then don't worry, we are going to format the data. So for now, let's work on the total expenses. Let's work on the, first of all, the total expense, right? So let comment them back and look at the state, what we have. So let me remove this one and then fill up the form. So let's see what we have. We are working with the expenses, right? So we have total expense, this one. Okay. So here, gonna be total expense, line number 31. Oh, sorry for the graph. We have total expenses here. And here, we have total expenses. So let's uncomment them back. And here, let's place the actual is account details. Okay, account details dot expense statistics. You grab the first index and then dot total expense. So let's check it out what we have. There we go. You see that you have the total expense over there. Cool. We had, so if you look at the final one, we have it here, total expense. So we're going to format it, right? So let's look at number of transactions. So number of transactions, right? Number of transactions is also here. So you also need, or better still, you can destructure that something all from the account details, other than making this long, or you can maintain this way and then just grab what you want. So let's copy that. You come back, you can reformat it. So the number of transactions. So let's uncomment this one and place inside the span. Let's paste this one and then dot. We need what? Number of transactions. So if you check our store, we have total record, right? That's the total record. So dot total record, and then minimum expense. So the same thing, you can copy this one. We are working on the expenses, right? So, and then inside the span, place it here. Okay. All of this one, let's place it here, and then let's grab minimum expense. So if you check the store, I'm looking at the data on it. So minimum expense is called min expense. So dot min expense, and then maximum expense. So let's copy this one here and place it here. Going to be the max expense. Okay, and then average transaction. Copy this one and that, and going to be average transaction. So be average expense. So dot average expense. Okay, cool. So now let's work on the income. So let's check what we have. There we go. You see, we have the individual item, but it's not yet well formatted. We work on that. Don't worry about the amount. So let's work on the expense, sorry, the income. So it's going to be the same thing, right? Oh, we need to change the. So let's work on the income here. So let's work on the total income, right? So the same process, right? But here, let's copy this one. We are going to grab the expenses. So here is what? Total what? Expense. So let's uncomment this one. And then here in between the H1, let's place that. This time around, it's not expense, but let's see is what? Income stats. So here going to be the income stats, and we need the total. So check again. We are working on the income. Okay. So total income here is going to be this total income. So total income here going to be dot total income, and let's copy this one for the income section. And then let's uncomment this span for number of transactions. Paste it here. Or let's remove one curly braces. Okay. Number of transactions. Let's check the states. What do you have? Number of total record of income. Okay. As that. And the minimum. So let's copy them again. And then let's uncomment this span. And then place it in here. Oh, again, let's remove one curly braces here. Okay. Then we have maximum transaction. So the same. So let's copy the text here. And let's uncomment this one. And let's place it here. It's going to be maximum transaction. Maximum income. Sorry, guys. Maximum income. Okay, and average transaction. We are almost done. So let's uncomment this and let's place it here. And we have average transaction, average income. There we go. Cool. Now let's save it. Let's check it out. There we go. We have it. So as compared to the final one, it's nowhere formatted like the graph and the amount. So we are on our way going. So let's check one more time. Let's display the error and the loading, right? But I think we can do that one in the next video, and then we work on the graph. So in the next video, we are going to work on the graph, and then we can format the date and other stuff, right? So catch you up in the next video.